Hello and welcome. In this segment, we'll explore the first chapter of Class 10 CBSE English textbook, A Letter to God by Gregorio López y Fuentes. This short story is simple on the surface, yet deeply meaningful. We'll begin with a brief summary, followed by a discussion on its main characters, key themes, and message. We'll also reflect on the irony and emotional depth that makes the story so unique. By the end, you'll understand not only what happens in the story, but also what it really wants to tell us about faith, humanity, and perspective. Moving on to the summary of the story. A Letter to God is the story of Lenjo, a poor farmer who lives in a small house on the top of a hill with his family. He depends entirely on his crops for survival. One year, he eagerly waits for rain so that his corn can grow well. When it finally starts raining, Lenjo is overjoyed. But soon, the pleasant rain turns into a violent hailstorm that destroys his entire field. Heartbroken but still full of faith, Lenjo comes up with a unique solution. He writes a letter to God, asking for 100 pesos to sow his field again and support his family. He drops the letter in the mailbox, addressing it simply to God. The postmaster, upon reading the letter, is touched by Lenjo's innocent faith. To help him, he collects money from his colleagues and adds some of his own. They manage to collect 70 pesos and sends it to Lenjo in an envelope signed God. However, Lenjo is not happy. He is angry that he received less than what he asked for and believes that God sent the full amount, but the post office employees must have stolen the rest. He writes another letter to God asking not to send the money through the post office next time, as he believes they are a bunch of crooks. So this is a gist of the story. Now let us move on to the main characters. We have Lenjo and the postmaster. Lenjo is a hardworking and deeply religious farmer. His unshakable faith in God drives the entire story. Despite his poverty, he believes in divine help with complete confidence. The postmaster is a kind and a thoughtful man. Though not religious like Lenjo, he respects his belief and quietly arranges the money to help him. His actions reflect the human kindness and compassion. Moving forward, let us discuss the key themes mentioned in the story. The first one is faith and innocence. The core of the story is Lenjo's blind faith in God. Even in the worst of times, he believes help will come, not from people, but directly from God. His innocence is both heartwarming and naive. The second is irony. The biggest irony in the story is that Lenjo calls the post office employees crooks, even though they were the ones who actually helped him. He fails to see the human goodness behind his blessings. The third is humanity and kindness. The story shows how ordinary people can show extraordinary empathy. The postmaster, without knowing Lenjo, is moved enough to help him in his time of need. The fourth and final theme we'll be discussing is hope in crisis, or hope in the face of a crisis. This story reflects how people cling to hope and higher powers in moments of despair. Lenjo's letter symbolizes the universal human need to believe in something greater during tough times. The message and moral. A letter to God teaches us that faith can be powerful, but it should also be balanced with awareness and gratitude. It reminds us of the quiet kindness that still exists in the world. Sometimes, our prayers are answered not by miracles, but through the goodwill of others. Recognizing and valuing that is important. In conclusion, A Letter to God is a story that touches the heart. with its simplicity, irony, and emotional depth. Through Lenjo's innocent faith and postmaster's silent generosity, the story beautifully shows how belief, kindness, and misunderstanding can all coexist with each other. It's not just a tale about a letter, it's a reflection of how we see the world and how sometimes we miss the real miracles happening around us. Thank you. Hope this is helpful.